I will mow the other half of my lawn because I only got half of it mowed yesterday.
No, not yet.
There's gonna be rain. I'm hoping that, yeah, we can drop it the way it tends to.
You're gonna be on Zoom, anybody know?
Straight here.
She's on.
Oh, okay.
How about Kimberly?
Here's Kim right here. She's coming.
Come here.
Flying in.
I'm ready, let's do it.
Great, we'll call the Grand Forks County Commission meeting to order. Today is July 18th, 2023. Commissioner Peach is on Zoom. Rusted and Hagan, Ingen, and myself are here. So we will stand for the pledge, but before we do, I want just to take a moment of silence to honor the officer that was killed down in Fargo, Jake Willeen, and the two officers that are in critical condition down there. So. Okay, thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of the republic for which it stands, one nation, God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting? By Commissioner Rustin, seconded by Commissioner Hagan. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Approval of the order of agenda. Does anybody wish to add anything to the agenda that is not currently on there? Do I have a motion to approve? Commissioner Reagan makes the motion to approve. Second,
I'll second that motion.
seconded by Commissioner Peach. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion is carried. Approval of the consent agenda, the bills, employee status changes, overtime, June financial report, and bonds for check reissue. Anybody wish any of those items pulled? Do I have a motion then to approve the consent agenda?
Mr. Chair, I'll approve the motion.
Okay, Commissioner Peach, is there a second? Second, Commissioner Engen. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried unanimously.
Mr. Chair, I believe the sheriff wanted to be added to the agenda.
I'm sorry, a grant came in last week. I don't know if you can go back and amend the agenda to add me for it's a grant application approval. But I thought an email got sent, but I'm sorry. I'm way late in the game.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll,
I'm not in a rush.
Why don't you come on up now?
Whenever.
We'll do it right now.
Right away.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I think you might want to formally amend the agenda. to
Okay.
add everything.
All right.
Move to formally to allow the sheriff to.
Second by Commissioner Rusted. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried unanimously. Okay,
My apologies, some oversight on my part as well. If I may approach, I'm just gonna provide a copy of a grant. In short, it's called a JAG grant. We've applied for this for years and years. It's a grant that is applied for in combination with the Grand Forks Police Department. And I'm requesting the commission to make a motion to have the chair sign this application in conjunction with the city of Grand Forks. It's a cost share grant that is laid out by jurisdiction, so we share this, like I said, with the city. The county's share of the grant will be $5,773. Ms. Peach will be excited to hear that part of this application is going to be for ballistic helmets for the deputies, along with some other hearing protection and possibly some speed and traffic safety supplies. So
That is wonderful. Thank you.
Move to allow the chair to sign this.
Okay, do I have a second to that motion? Second by Hagan. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried unanimously.
I have nothing further. Thank you. And again, my apologies.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, I'm here for the annual review of MOU with the Veterans Wellness Court now. The name, only thing that's changed is the name itself. Used to be Veterans Treatment Court, now it's Veterans Wellness Court. It's been thoroughly reviewed, and then also the state attorney's office has given us a green light on it.
Okay,
It's in the packet there.
there it is. Okay. Yep. All right. Everybody get a chance to look at it? Yep. Do I have a motion to approve? So move Commissioner Hagan,
I'll second that motion.
second by Commissioner Peach. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried unanimously.
Thank you. And I could just add just 2 quick points. Next Thursday at our vet center, VA is coming up. We're going to be doing a claims clinic there for a few hours. Just to let you know, our department will be over there with them. And then on July 5th, there's an email from NACO about the green light, Operation Green Light for supporting veterans at the county. I'll come back in October with a little packet for that. I just want to give you a heads up on that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, I guess you're gonna talk for the emergency manager.
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, Ms. Gales is on sick leave, so she was going to present a purchase agreement that needs board approval and chair's signature. This is for the county to purchase the Arvilla property that continues to flood and incur loss. Purchase price is $150,000. County will pay closing costs. However, the county will be reimbursed. It's through a hazard mitigation grant through the state. So it just need approval of the purchase agreement and chair's signature.
So, quick question.
Go ahead.
How will the county, who will reimburse the county for doing this? That was my question. I've never read it.
Ms. Nelson can correct me, but Ms. Gals, I understand state hazard mitigation funds.
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, that is correct. We will pay the bill in full and be reimbursed.
Okay.
For just the closing costs or the entire?
Oh,
Okay.
Do I have a motion to approve? So moved by Commissioner Rusted. Second,
I'll second that motion.
second by Commissioner Peach. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously. Highway Department.
Mr. Chair, Mr. West was unexpectedly out of the office today and asked that I address this on his behalf since he and I have been working together on this. What he is requesting the county's approval on is, if you recall, he presented before the board regarding a parcel of property in Manville next to his highway department shed in Manville. He and I have been visiting with the city of Manville, and the city agreed to sell us that parcel of property for $1. And so the purchase agreement that's before you is memorializing that agreement between the city of Manville and the county. You'll notice on that agreement, the city has already signed it. So they are in agreement and it has went through the approval process. His second request is that if the board approves, he would like to proceed with the bidding process for the building that he intends to construct on that.
Any questions?
The price is a little steep, but I'll move approval.
Commissioner Rust has
Gotta be
approved
fiscally
the
conservative.
expenditure of $1. Do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Hagan. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion is carried unanimously. All right. Human Resource Director.
Chair Ross and Commissioners, I'm here today to give an update and get your direction on the project I was given regarding updating the current job description for the Director of Administration job duties. In your packet and on your desk was a copy of the draft that has been gone through by myself, working with Ms. Wanstead, with Commissioner Rost, with Mr. Ford to update the job description. The second piece to that also is during the budget meetings, there was discussion about changing the title from Director of Administration to Administrator. I don't know if you have any questions regarding the job description or if you want to have any discussion regarding the job description.
Questions?
I'll speak to it. I think the job description needs to reflect the job that he's doing. Question about that. I don't know if the title change, in my opinion, is necessary. Because that's not really the description. The administrator would oversee all department heads. That's kind of the way it is. Everybody. County administrator, a county administrator would oversee each department.
Not necessarily, not unless it's granted by the commission.
Well, in my mind's eye, let me rephrase, the way I see it, that's would be the case. So, I mean, the job description, I think he needs to have the job description and the right step that reflects what he does, whether that's in, an elevation and increase in pay, great. But to me, that the title is unnecessary.
Okay, well, Commissioner Peach, did you have any comments?
Yeah, I do. We've been talking about this for a long time. I think that the role that Mr. Ford plays within the organization shouldn't oversee all of the department managers or department heads. I feel that that would create quite a bit of angst between staff members, and I wouldn't be supportive of that.
Okay.
I think she wants to talk.
Yes. go
So
ahead.
regarding the title, so the title of administrator, when you look at the title of administrator across counties in North Dakota and you look at the title of administrator in other counties, there's very much a mixture of whether or not all department heads fall under the administrator. There are some counties where only a couple of departments, typically the departments that may fall under an administrator are facilities, IT, in some instances HR. In this and in other counties, none of those are falling under the administrator. So as far as the title itself, if you put the title of administrator and the duties do not list overseeing all those other departments, it's totally within what we can do. A county manager under the Century Code is different. And that does entail overseeing departments, overseeing budgets. That is not what this is.
Right.
Those duties are not listed in the job description.
Okay. Any comments, Mr.
Well,
Commissioner?
I think the description does adequately describe what he does. In the 8 years that I've been around here, his duties have multiplied because of all the things going on with the basin and also the fact that he's gotten to know all these other people in the government and the city and so on. So I have no problem with the job description. And actually, I don't have a problem with the county administrator title either, because as you explained, not a county manager, but it's kind of a title that matches some of the other big cities. So, you know, that's the lead administrative person in the county that you're dealing with. So it doesn't give any more power to it than the job description does. And as a result, you know, I'm in favor of both.
Okay, and I too would concur with Commissioner Engen. I think with all the work that Mr. Ford does, he does a phenomenal job with it. He represents this county to a huge extent. We aren't going to have the generals anymore, so he's going to be the sole guy that goes and negotiates with the Pentagon and the Air Base and Grand Sky. And I think the job description meets the administrator title, and I would be for it. So.
A quick question, the ability to approve purchases and change orders, did we have a dollar amount that we were gonna allow, or is that something that?
So the dollar amount wouldn't go in a job description. In the job description, it's that they would need to be things directly assigned to this role by the commission. And then the next part of my conversation is just a piece about purchasing. So, and I think Ms. Nelson had.
My only question was, in the job description, it says supervisory responsibilities. And then it says may provide department oversight as assigned by the commission. So I'm not sure why you put something in the job description that's currently not being done. Why would you say may do this? I mean, you could put that in anybody's description. They may do something.
So the reason that was in there directly relates back to when we had a period of time when we didn't have an IT director. And the commission assigned this role to over.
Could have been assigned to anybody.
Right. So.
Does yours say that in your description, may? Supervisor?
Not specifically, but if you wanted to add that to other department head job descriptions, you definitely could. Or, I mean, it could be taken out if you wanted to take it out. And you still gives you the ability to assign it, whatever, however you want it to look on the job description.
Yeah.
That's why this is a draft, so if we need to make some changes.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I do have a question. At this point, or Ms. Thiel, you may clarify for me, at this point, the supervisors, the department heads would still be under the commission, right? They would not be under the county administrator.
Correct.
That's correct, yeah.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Chair,
Yes.
yes, approval of the job description, and would it be a separate motion for the title? Should that be, can that be included in this motion?
I think it could be included in the motion, the title and the job description.
And then for this, the job description is one thing, but with this particular individual, I would say the title should be county administrator.
Have a second to the motion?
I'll second that motion.
Okay. All right, any other questions by anybody? Okay, assuming a roll call vote, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna ask each one of you individually how you vote. So we'll start with you, Commissioner Rusted.
Nay.
Commissioner Hagan,
Nay.
Commissioner Peach,
Yay.
Yeah, I,
okay, and I vote yes too, so. All right, so we got 3-2.
And the next piece isn't really something, I don't know if we needed this as a motion, but a recommendation would be that we may want to look at some kind of a procurement policy that we've put together that would be in a combination of input from the auditor, input from the state's attorney. If you so wish. Currently, we have a purchasing card policy, but it has been recommended for counties to have a policy that kind of outlines the levels of authority for procurement or purchasing. So that's something that we could look into. I wanted to put that on your radar.
Okay,
Mr. Chair,
yes,
that is something that Ms. Nelson, Mr. Ford and I have been working together on. Per the recommendations of the auditor, Mr. Ford was able to take a draft policy that Cass County is currently looking at adopting, so we could use that as a guide and maybe use some of their materials as well. If the commission wished to include in that policy some authority to grant Mr. Ford's position, I would just need to know if it's a dollar amount, if he has the ability to approve contracts, what type of contracts, if there's a certain duration of the contract that he could approve, whatever the parameters of the board are, I could include that as well.
And then the last piece is, because you've approved this job description includes moving the position from a grade 20 to a grade 21. My recommendation would be that this happens at the same time that it would be adopted for the other regraded positions that were presented in the compensation plan. But that's up to the commission, so I think you need to make a motion and a vote.
First memory, was that October 1, was it? January
No.
1?
no,
You haven't made a
We haven't
decision
made a
regarding when
decision
that
yet.
happens yet.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Chair, I concur with this deal.
okay,
That should be done. The financial change would happen at the same time that other regraded positions.
do I have a motion to that effect?
Do what, sorry. change the-
To have the regrading take effect at the same time,
As
the other regrading would be approved, whenever that would be. Because this goes from a grade 20 to a 21.
Mr. Chair, I would make that a motion.
Okay, second,
Second.
Commissioner Reagan, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried unanimously.
Thank you.
Director of Administration,
Thanks, Mr. Chair, members of the board. First one, the JLG Courthouse Security Improvement Grant Contract. Ms. Leon's been quarterbacking that, so she's gonna quickly present that topic to the board.
Chair Ross and members of the commission. So this first one is in relation to the courthouse security improvement project. That was the project that we received grant dollars from the state for. And there was a reduced scope down to $195,000 that construction engineers submitted. If you'll remember, there was a notice to proceed issued by the board back in June. And so this is simply the standard form of agreement between the owner and the contractor. And it stipulates a base payment of $195,000 that we discussed earlier. It has been reviewed by State's Attorney Wamstead and our insurance provider. And so we'd be asking for board signature or for chair signature on this.
okay. Do I have a motion?
And questions if you have any.
Any questions? Yeah. Got a motion to approve? So move Commissioner Rusted. Second. Commissioner Hagan, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, motion carried unanimously.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, next item is the airfield equipment building MOU. That is out on Grand Sky. So that building is gonna house our fire trucks, the Department of Emergency Services trucks, so some county assets. This facility was built with EUL development grant funds from the 2021 biennium. We, as a county, will own it, just like we own the security house out in Grand Sky. So the document that Ms. Wamstead and I worked on with Grand Sky, this would essentially hire them to be the manager of that building, caretaker of that building. They'll be able to use it. It's a no-cost management agreement, and it does allow Grand Sky to temporarily grant licensure usage of the facility. So if a temporary tenant comes in and they're going to test for 6 months, they can lease portions of that facility out. So looking for board approval and chair signature.
Motion,
I move approval.
Commissioner Hagan.
I'll
Excuse-
second the motion.
Okay, second by Cynthia Peach. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously.
Thank you. Next item is the Northeast Human Services 2023 lease extension. There are 2 extensions. The previous lease did expire June 30th, 2023. So basically they go from biennium to biennium. These amendments will renew the leases through June 30th, 2025. Amendment B extends the lease of 24 parking spaces in our parking ramp. Gives us total revenue of $11,520 each year. Amendment D is unfortunately is decreasing the total footprint about 3,400 feet. That's not a surprise. We were put on notice that might happen. It does lease a footprint mostly on 4th floor and 5th floor. This leads to Amendment D will have revenue of $536,296 annually. They're also continuing to lease 660 square feet of unfinished space on 4th floor. That'll bring in about 3,300 annually. Looking for board approval of both amendments and chair signature.
Commissioner Hagan. Okay, Commissioner Hagan makes the motion to approve. Second.
I have a quick question. If you don't mind. Is the 10 per foot in addition to the 560 per square foot?
Yes, sir.
So bringing it, so it's not a triple net lease. Basically, we pay all the utilities, so they're just giving us just under 16 a foot.
That's correct. So to come up with, that's a good question. To come up with the current rate, we were under market for a while. So I visited with Mr. Brooks and City Planning and Zoning and Dakota Commercial for downtown lease rates, market lease rates. That's how we came up with what you're saying.
How'd you come up with the 75 cents per foot to the parking ramp? Is that
That has historically just always been in the lease.
thank you.
Okay, do I have a second? Okay, second by Commissioner Rusted. All those in favor? Oh, do you have a question?
Well, let's make the motion. I've got a
Okay.
question afterwards.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously.
I do have one question. Have you got a ballpark estimate of how much square footage is unleased now in the COP?
I can tell you that all but 4 offices and 6 file rooms. So Northeast held on to 4 offices and 2 different rooms for filers. The rest is ours, so it's significant.
Is there any space that can be leased out? It's ours, but is it empty?
So yes, so that will be something I'll bring to the commission in the near future. What would you like to do with that space? I walked it the other day. We do have a potential tenant. Ms. Hagan, that's the one I had emailed you about. There's a potential tenant, but more information has come to light where it might not work. You could also look to maybe move an apartment if it grows up into that space. It's a nice space. So I'll bring that to the commission soon. What would you like to do with it?
Okay, thanks.
Miller Dunwoody, Ms. Leon's gonna take that one as well.
Chair Ross and members of the commission. So this is the professional services contract for Miller Dunwoody, who you all approved as the architect for this project a few meetings ago. And that approval then dictated to negotiate a contract with scope and fee. And so it's been reviewed by State's Attorney Wamstead. It has the hourly expenses not to exceed a maximum of $327,000. CE, who was the construction manager at risk, also got the chance to review. They didn't have any objections. And so this is simply the next step in the process so they can get their design phase started and get this project going. So we'd be asking for chair's signature and any questions.
Any questions from anybody? Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Commissioner Hagan makes the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, second by Commissioner Peach. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried unanimously.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda for commission's consideration is the 2023 UL Development Grant Contract. So in this last biennium, the county was awarded $10 million of appropriated funds from the legislature. We will have $2,548,966 from 2021 that will roll over into this contract as well. So that gives us a total of $12,548,966.95. And this is, as all the other UL grants, has to go for infrastructure into Grand Sky. We follow the normal procurement process that we've always followed, and just need board approval and chair's signature, assuming no objection from Ms. Lomstead.
Objection, I've reviewed this agreement.
Okay,
I have a question before.
Go ahead.
This has to go for infrastructure. Have you got an estimate of, we're talking to Grand Sky people all the time about the expansions they're doing. Is this going to be mostly spoken for in the next 2 years, or is it going to last longer than that?
The majority of it is spoken for, sir.
That's all.
Okay, I can give more details offline.
all right. Do I have a motion to approve?
So
So moved by Commissioner Hagan. Do I have a second? Commissioner Hagan. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously.
Next is a proposal from AE2S. It's an agreement, if the board accepts it. When the county was negotiating with the Fair Board, one of the requests of the Fair Board was help with refurbishing the grandstands. I was directed to get in touch with Mr. Clevin on another inspection. So the last inspection I'm aware of was 2021. The proposal would be for $2,500 for AE2S to go out and do another structural inspection. Looks like, and I sent to the commission Mr. Clevin's scope, his initial assessment. Looks like phase 1 is not entirely complete, but the majority of it was for steel and wood framing, which is good. So if the commission would like to proceed with that inspection, and would need board approval and chair's signature. And I visited with Ms. Nelson, and there's still some capital improvements left.
Okay.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Was this, somebody have to remind me that we were going to do an inspection every year? I can't remember. We went through it so many times. I feel like I've memorized it by now, but.
Mr. Clevin's assessment called for an annual inspection until the entire scope was completed. So eventually you get far enough through, I'll back up, sorry. There was necessary work to be performed, and then there was more work you could continue to do, kind of beautification, if you will. I think really once you get through the structural integrity work, you probably don't then need to worry about annual inspections. That's my understanding.
And then if you do the exterior work, it's got to go through the historical society. Yeah.
Mark's
And
excited.
Mark just loves historical society.
He's gonna head up that part of the beautification.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
Okay.
So moved by Commissioner Hagan. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Commissioner Peach, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried unanimously.
There's 2 more topics briefly, Mr. Chair. The wind turbine farm moratorium that the commission put in place a couple months ago. It was a 90-day moratorium. I believe it is set to expire next week. Mr. Magnuson, county planner, was instructed to go back to planning and zoning and then come back with some amendments to wind turbine policy. He's been out on FMLA, so he wasn't able to come today and present those. So asking for the commission to extend that wind farm moratorium. I think that's probably the commission's discretion, but maybe another 60 days. The public comment period of the proposed rule that would add Grand Forks Air Force Base to the highly sensitive base designation, it should be complete and finalized by the end of this month, if not beginning of August as well.
I move that we do extend the moratorium. I think it'll end up being longer than 60 days, but we can always take a look at it at that time. But this gets us past the comment period. And once, if the Air Force or the DoD just designates as it's highly sensitive, suddenly the radius of the DoD control goes out to 100 miles. So we have to be aware of what they're going to do. And we also need to keep in mind the sensitivity of the base missions that we have now and may have in the future. So I don't see this being decided too soon.
Commissioner, is there a reason why we don't just call it 6 months?
Just shut it down completely.
Is there a time, State Attorney Wamstead, is there a time on moratoriums?
There isn't a bright line rule in the law, Mr. Chair, members of the commission, but I think it's best to be somewhat judicious and not overextend what we need, just because we can't essentially exclude a business from doing business in our jurisdiction entirely.
Yeah, I think that's the answer to your question. We have to be careful about getting sued, I suppose, for making a rash decision, and we're not making a rash
It
decision.
doesn't mean that we have to do it after 60 days. We just check back in and we can extend it again.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
My concern is I think we've all watched this TV show play out at the city level for another base sensitive project that was really not interested in being a part of that at the county level.
I see the difference being is that we're aware of the potential pitfalls earlier than they were.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So do I have a motion to extend the moratorium?
I think I made a motion.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
second.
for 60 days. Second, Commissioner Hagan. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion
Aye.
carried.
Just as a follow-on to Mr. Ingens and Rusted's comments, I have reached out to the DoD Aviation Clearinghouse, trying to get clarity whether or not they took into account the Range Hawk mission, the low Earth orbit mission with Space Force, and the ISR-30 missions. I think that's information the commission needs to know when decision time comes. I've reached out a couple of times. I've not received an answer yet, so we'll keep trying on that. The final item I have, Bridgie Hansen, former juvenile detention administrator. She's recently retired. She would like to purchase her county laptop. This app is unheard of. And she's visited with Evelyn Halverson, IT director. Looks like the laptop is worth $250. IT wipes it. And Ms. Hansen gives Ms. Nelson a check. But I believe that the commission has to approve basically selling or getting one.
Okay, Commissioner Hagan makes the motion to approve. Second. Commissioner
I'll second
Rusted.
that.
Commissioner Rusted beat you.
No problem.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, motion carried unanimously.
That's all I have.
Okay, Ms. Wamstead. Okay, committee reports. Nothing, okay, Commissioner Hagan.
Just an update, the public library board meetings aren't usually too exciting, but the last one I attended, we had about 20 people come and speak out on some books that some moms and other community members brought forward that what I would think have pornographic material in them. We did come to an agreement that some of these said books would be moved to the parenting section of the library, given the fact that none of them have been checked out since they've been in circulation in our library. But if you were to see the pictures in some of these books, my 5-year-old was able to just go and take it off the shelf and look at it. And once they look at it, the damage is done. But yeah, there's going to be continuing conversation at our next board meeting, but that's a hot topic.
There will be here too.
Yeah. So it's coming, but we'll get resolved.
Okay. Commissioner Egan.
Trying to figure out what to do the last couple of weeks, but I guess the time goes so fast. There was a meeting on the homeway issue, which is the tablets that they use at the correction facility. And there's been problems with the operation of those tablets. And you know as well, since you're also on that committee with Ms. Wamstead, there are issues there that have to be figured out. So, yeah, nothing completely decided.
Commissioner Peach, do you have anything?
Yeah, just the zone board meeting took place today. You're all aware that Mr. Antoine Pickett had resigned his position. There was a contract with him to do some short-term transition planning. It really kind of took a different direction. So we didn't need to do the transition planning involving Mr. Pickett. So that contract ended today. There are 5 new applicants that applied for the new zone director position, and they will be interviewed in the next couple of days and into the weeks to make a decision on who the new zone director will be. So that is all I have.
Okay. I don't have anything other than Commissioner Egan and I at that other meeting. So, yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, I would like to have an administrative services committee meeting to discuss the preliminary budget prior to August 1st, like close to that date. So I need to get some work done on the budget yet. So I'm wondering, are you available 26th, 27th, or even 31st of July? It won't be a long meeting. You could participate by Zoom if you wanted to.
The 26th is the best for me. We have family and okay, Wednesday the 26th
Wednesday's the 26th. Is it
Yep.
good or bad?
is the only day that works for me to be here in person.
That'd be good, 26.
The 26th, and what time would you like on the 26th?
1 o'clock.
Well, 1 o'clock is probably worse for me for the day.
Yeah.
Toward the end of the day, or.
Were you gonna Zoom?
I like to come to these things, but if I'm supposed to be the
How
chair.
about a late afternoon?
Late afternoon is good.
Like 3:30?
3:34, whatever. I mean, you said later.
3:34? Is that better?
3:30 would be my
How would you-
first available opportunity, and I would have to Zoom because I'd never get here in time.
Should we just do 4 o'clock then? Would 4 o'clock be better for you?
That would be, oh, I might be able to pull that off.
Okay,
Okay, 4 o'clock?
As long as Sheriff pulls his dogs off.
Commissioner Peach, is 4 o'clock on the 26th good for you?
Yes, that will work. Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
got it.
Did we just all agree on one day right away? I mean, look at us.
All right, any unfinished new business? Nope. Correspondence?
Just after the letter from Jim Stewart, he is now retiring after 41 years, I believe.
Okay, Commissioner Hagan.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn, please.
Second, okay. Second by Commissioner Rusted. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Bye.
Same sign, motion carried. We're adjourned.